Big warning to all of the crypto holders out there. In fact, if you're invested in anything in the markets, be prepared because we have entered a very fun part of the markets. Whether you want to call this a bull market, whether you want to call it a bear market bounce, this is the part of the charts where manipulation really starts to take some heavy control. The media outlets are being utilized right now to do the best they can to convince you when to buy the tops and then sell the bottoms. And if you're not prepared for this tactic and not seeing it play out in front of your eyes, you could end up ruining and wrecking your portfolio. So in today's show, while we go through all of the news, I'm going to go through the charts. And yes, we're live today. I know a lot of you guys have been missing us this week. Enjoy the Wednesdays. We'll be live every single week at this time. We're going to break down for you the tactics to look out for and just where markets could be about to go next. So if you're ready and you're excited, make sure right now to go ahead and smash that like button. And if it's your first time joining and you do enjoy the show, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. All right, let's go. Good Wednesday afternoon to all of you. The bros are live. The people are rejoicing. We are going to have a fun day today. Have missed some of you guys. Although, again, if you're wondering, the bros only live once a week? No, we're live every single day. Just a lot of those days we are over in that VIP Discord. You're absolutely going to want to go check it out right now. And guess what? Till Sunday at midnight. 50% off when you act right now. Go to the link in the description, even while we're live right here. Go sign up to join the VIP Discord group, and you will get to be a part of our daily live show over there where we do charts, we do trading. People are making money. Go act right now. Of course, I'm joined by these two fine gentlemen with me here. I got, as everyone loves, Smay. And that burnt orange is still looking burnt orange, despite the fact that we got a little light behind you. I love your background right now, Smay. How are you doing today, my friend?
Well, Tim, I'm feeling on fire.
Ooh.
And man, I'm just ready to take a closer look at the markets.
There we go. You always got the gimmicks. Always got the gimmicks. If you miss your Smay, he's over there in the VIP trading group.
I think I want a thimble about the crypto.
Okay. All right. As always, we're also joined. There, the thim.
Let's paint a picture.
All right. That's okay. We're gonna go on to T-Shroom. T-Shroom, quickly, how are you doing? We're gonna have a lot of charts and news to get into today, but how are you doing today, my friend? Like the Luxago hat there as well.
Absolutely, Tim. I am more thim bullish than I deserve. I believe is what Smay was trying to get to there. But no, I'm doing good. Right. Got to hang out with some family over the Easter weekend, and got to see a lot of dogs. It's good to see the family dogs, you know? What's better than that?
The family dogs. I mean, that's what it's all about. Guys, let's go ahead and get into the show here today. Quickly, before we get into the news with T-Stream, let's take a look at some charts. If you are just waking up right now and you were underneath a rock for the last 48 hours, Bitcoin, crypto, markets, overall, they are moving very, very well right now. Bitcoin back above 90K for the first time since all the way back here in early March. The question is, will we maintain that move? Are we heading towards new all-time highs, or are we about to see a very big correction happen right now? Either way, again, we're going to cover more in depth TA later on the show. Make sure you are watching like a hawk what's happening on the charts. I'm going to tell this to everybody later on as well, but I'm going to go ahead for all of you guys who are here early live. The big takeaway from today's show is not that you need to ignore the news, but you need to be aware that news is going to be very misleading. And you don't understand how to use it, be very weary of it. What you do need to be paying attention to right now are the charts. Are we overbought? Are we oversold? Where's the next major level of resistance? Where's the next major level of support? This is a very important time to be locking into the charts. Right now, Bitcoin wrestling with 94,000 earlier today, dropping all the way back down towards 90, just a little bit below 92. And we're getting to the reason why that is. We'll cover more as what Bitcoin is looking like. In the crypto space, we talked about yesterday's video. If you did not catch yesterday's video, you got to be subscribed to the channel. Don't miss anything. We talked about 3 coins that were going to take off. Not that they were the only ones, just the ones that we said would be very important. Solana breaking up this morning to a level I told you about yesterday. We need to get back above 147 to set a higher high for the first time since way back in January. Well, guess what? Today, with Solana going all the way up to $153, we accomplished just that. Can we hold it? That's not actually necessarily as important. What's important right now is that Solana, for the first time in months, has hit a new higher high. Chainlink is another coin we talked about yesterday. Not necessarily as bullish, but it did break some resistance we talked about yesterday. Its target we're still watching for on Chainlink to set a higher high for the first time in months will be $16. If we get above $16, Chainlink will be cooking with grease. But how about Sui? Sui has just been absolutely special here, making it up above $3 here today, breaking the high from back in March of about $2.82. We told you yesterday need to be broken. Sui has joined Bitcoin and Solana and several other coins for officially setting higher highs for the first time since January of 2025. That is super bullish. Guess what? In the other side of the space, not just crypto, let's go to TradFi markets for a little bit. The S&P 500, it's down since today opened, but opened with a nice gap this morning, making it back up as high as 5,400 today. And again, while it is down right now as we're closing out this Wednesday afternoon, the S&P 500, I'm going to show you guys later, actually starting to print a couple buy signals on higher time frames. You don't want to miss that detail. Also, do not undermine this chart right here, the importance of gold pulling back today. Actually, for the last couple of days, today is the 23rd. We've been pulling back since yesterday now. What does this mean for other markets that gold is now sustaining several 4-hour candles bearishly altogether? Stick around for the TA portion of the show today. We got a lot to break into, a lot to cover. But before all that, let's get into the emotional roller coaster that is today, the news section. T-Shroom, what is going on in the headlines that is causing all of this craziness in both the crypto and TradFi markets?
Absolutely. We're going to jump over to the Kabesi letter, who have summarized it very well here. Over the last 24 hours, this is what you see. This is what you get. Trump says tariffs on China won't be as high as 145% and will come down substantially. Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, says de-escalation with China is coming. 2 very bullish indeed, messages earlier in the last 24 hours. And then the Wall Street Journal reports that tariffs on China are set to drop 50 to 65%. Continuation of the bullishness. Bessent says America first does not mean America alone, kind of hinting at continued bullishness and ready to go together, right? Non-isolationist. And then 5, Bessent declines to comment on Wall Street Journal report in point 3. That's where things start to get a little bit more curious. Mm-hmm. Bessent clarifies Trump is not offering a unilateral decrease in tariffs on China, contradicting number 3. So number 3, bullish, contradiction here on number 6. Or is it a contradiction? Number 7, Bessent says U.S.-China trade deal will take 2 to 3 years. So 2 to 3 years, that is a longer timeline than I think the market was thinking. And the Kabesi letter even says the market's roller coaster ride continues. It doesn't stop there, Tim, though, because there's been an update. China says it's open to resuming trade talks with the United States. This comes directly from the Chinese Foreign Ministry. So this has been a roller coaster. It's obviously not over. We're going to continue to get headlines. But things are a little bit curious as to the way that the media is projecting messages and the way the actual White House participants are projecting messages. Wouldn't you say, Tim?
Absolutely. It's going to be something to monitor now moving forward. And it's going to come down to, what is your belief? Like, somebody is kind of fudging truth. Somebody's telling the truth. At the end of the day, what we know this to be, and we watched it play out today on a very micro scale, I'll say, but it's the beginning of a very volatile movement that's going to be coming back and forth for the crypto markets. They're going to try to get you to buy every single top and sell every single bottom. What happened today, for example, right? We wake up, we get fantastic news. I actually was getting this news out on the golf course. I was hitting some balls this morning, but I like to, pay attention to X, make sure I know what's going on, even though Wednesday mornings is my morning off. And I saw the markets erupting. I saw the markets going up. I said, what's going on here? I go to X, and of course, there's the news. Trump's coming out here saying, hey, we're gonna be lowering our tariffs on China. We're gonna have a favorable deal. We're going to do something with them. The Wall Street Journal comes out and says that we could expect the tariffs to drop from 145% all the way down to 50%. Okay, cool. This looks really, really great, right? Bitcoin pumps, the stock market pumps, things are pumping. Gold wasn't pumping. I'll tell you why later. But things are pumping. All of a sudden, by the time most people are waking up and seeing that news and getting to their computer to hit the buy button, all of a sudden, Bessent, who had said some favorable things that morning, all the headlines start flooding with Bessent says no unilateral deal is being made with China. It can take 2 to 3 years for a deal to come to China. And the markets start going to the downside. In fact, they crashed. If we go back to my chart here, I want to show you, we went from being up as high this morning all the way at 94,600. Let me zoom in a little more just for people who may be watching on their phones. I'm going to try to do that more often. I know some of you guys watch on your phones. Some of you are on TVs. Put a 1 in chat right now if you watch on your phone. Put a 2 if you're on a TV, and put a 3 if you're just on like a normal computer like I am here. But anyway, Bitcoin rallied all the way up to 94.6, almost 94.700 on this great news. And then look at how quickly, and I know this is an hourly chart, so it did take roughly an hour and a half, 2 hours, but Bitcoin went from 94.6 all the way down here to 91.9. Why? Because the Bessent report came out, where Bessent kind of poured rain on the parade. He said something that you didn't really want if you were bullish, and the markets pulled back dramatically. And by the time you caught up, all the people that bought this morning around 94,000, 94.6, well, then they see that news from Bessent. They're saying, oh, was I hoodwinked? Am I over? Oh, okay, let me go ahead and sell. So they end up selling somewhere here around 92,000, and then the markets end up pumping right back up. Why? Because the reality is, if you use your logical brain to understand maybe what's happening between Trump, the Wall Street Journal, and Bessent, more than likely we are about to see deals being discussed between China and America. More than likely we will see some form of a unilateral dip down to 50% in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. The problem is that report coming from the Wall Street Journal, I don't know who told him that, because I didn't ever hear Trump say it. All we know Trump's saying is that there will be a favorable deal coming. Then Bessent, asked about this just an hour or so later, says, well, nothing's been done yet at this time. That's really simple. That doesn't sound messy whatsoever. Trump says we're going to get a deal done. Bessent just says we just haven't done anything yet. Simple. That's not how the headlines came out. And why did the headlines not come out that way? Because news media, mainstream media, I'm not to say like them, love them, or hate them. I don't know who likes them or loves them. I don't even think the people that work for mainstream media like them and love them. They are tools that have been used historically by the composite man to manipulate markets, to make you buy the tops and sell the bottoms. And we saw a very micro level of that happen this morning. And I'm here to tell you, if you thought that that was it, my friend, I feel for you, because that was just the beginning. We have just gotten very interesting once again in the markets. People started flooding out of crypto, even TradFi. I was on a golf course a couple of weeks ago. Someone asked me what I do for a living. I'm told him, hey, I have a YouTube channel. We teach people how to trade the markets daily. He looked at me jokingly and said, do not talk to me about the markets. To which, of course, I keep talking to him. He says, of course, he's been investing in the stock market for a while, but he was so far down in his portfolio because he was down 10%. Crypto holders laugh at that one. He was down 10%, didn't even want to look at the charts, didn't want to talk about the charts. He was feeling depressed, right? People have been depressed. People have tuned out now for the last couple of weeks. Why? Because crypto and TradFi markets took some spills since January. Well, guess what? Now, as all of this is coming back up, people are going to start running back to buy and sell. But the majority of these people do not buy and sell on the charts when they see overbought or oversold. They buy based off of headlines. They sell based off of headlines. And what the composite man knows, what the manipulators know, and that was a weird way to pronounce that, manipulators know, is that people will be emotional. And if you create emotional headlines, you can fake out a lot of people. And so even though we have more news to get into, even though we have more charts to get today, we're already at the crux, the point of today's show. Do not trade or invest based off your emotions, and absolutely do not trade and invest based off of articles coming from mainstream media. watch the charts. I'm going to show you here in a couple of minutes what's going on in the charts. I'm going to show you what I think the next move could be, where I am waiting to buy these coins. I'm very bullish right now. Very bullish. I'll explain why. But I'm not ready to buy right now at 93.3. We're dropping a little bit since I've been talking here. 93.3 is not my buy signal. I'll tell you where it is. Buy the charts. Sell the charts. Don't buy the emotions. Don't buy the mainstream headlines. That is going to save you a lot of money. And unfortunately, people not watching the Investing Pros live show today who are not hearing that message are probably going to be wrecked in the next couple of weeks when they are responding emotionally. T-Shroom, anything you want to say on that before we move on to the next story, or did I wrap that up pretty nicely?
No, I think you wrapped it up very nicely there, Tim. And I'm interested to see what your buy entry point is, where that level is that you want to buy Bitcoin. Very, very
Stick around in the show. We'll talk about it here in a second.
Well, we've got another case on our hands of some people thinking one thing and yet the price doing another. If you jumped over to my screen, Tesla earnings were not great, objectively, not great at all. Revenue came in at 19.3 and it was estimated to be 19.4. And then the EPS also missed, was supposed to be 42, came in at 27. That's a big yikes. But if you look at the Tesla chart, you can take my word for it. I'm sure we'll look at it in this show today, much more in depth. The chart was the price was actually up today. Now, post market yesterday, the Tesla chart actually did come down a little bit. But this is just another example of the news saying one thing and real facts, real data printing in one way that's pretty obvious, pretty objectively not great. And yet the price goes up. It's because there's a lot more to the market than just information. So, Tim, what is your take here on Tesla's earnings report?
Yeah, I mean, definitely coming in low. I think what you're dealing with here, though, is, and this isn't fake news, right? So as we're talking about a lot of manipulation, having a bad earnings report is not a fake around. It's not a manipulated move. They had a bad earnings report. You want to know why some of that is happening? Is because for the last quarter, guess who's not been so present at headquarters dealing with Tesla? Their beloved founder, Elon Musk. Guess what he has announced here within the last couple of days is that he is on page to, in quarter 2 and into quarter 3, get way more involved in Tesla details day to day. Not that he's going to be officially stepping away from Doge, but he is going to be picking up more responsibilities and getting more involved at Tesla. And this is going to be part of the reason why, despite the bad news coming, they're still up overall, because they know a big reason for that big loss was him being gone. Now that he's coming back, I think a lot of investors are expecting quarter 2 to be a win for the Tesla stock. And again, we'll look at the charts here in just a couple of minutes, tell you what is happening over there, what to expect over the next couple of months. But that is kind of what I'm reading right now, T-Shirt. I guess I could be wrong, but that's the way I read this headline. It's like, hey, that's a bad headline. It's just being outweighed by the fact that people know quarter 2 can outperform with Elon coming back. Did you have a different read on it yourself?
No, I think that it really comes down to AI and robotics, right? I think Elon has effectively permeated the market with the promise that Tesla will be an AI and robotics company, and that any kind of downtick in sales on the auto sales side is no reason to be concerned and sell the stock. I buy it. I'm not betting against Elon, especially not White House version of Elon.
There we go. Well, any other stories for the day here, Shroom, or is it time to jump into the charts?
We do. We have one more very exciting story, especially if you're a fan of Bitcoin. Very. Today it's a desk trinkets kind of day. Jack Mallers to lead the MSTR competitor as CEO. This is 21 Capital. If you've been on Twitter today, you've probably seen posts about this. It's big, and it's caught Twitter by storm. It's caught me by storm. I had no idea this was coming. 21 Capital is a Bitcoin treasury company backed by Tether and Masayoshi Son's SoftBank and Howard Lutnick's Cantor Fitzgerald. If you've spent any time studying venture capital, you will know this name, Masayoshi. He is extremely influential in venture capital, and Lutnick, Cantor Fitzgerald, is an absolute huge name in finance as well. It's a power. They're a powerhouse, and they've got Jack Mallers at the helm. The company will launch with 42,000 Bitcoin already in assets, and like I said, they're a direct competitor to MSTR in that their whole business model is to raise capital, buy Bitcoin, and presumably never sell, right? Only just lend and borrow against that Bitcoin. So it's a pretty big deal. Another buyer entering the market. It's a big, big bullfrog on the pond. Tim, has this got you any more bullish? Do you think that this is overhyped? What are your thoughts here on this one?
Anyone who's going to buy and hold Bitcoin long term, you'll love it. Here's what I would really love to know some details on. They're coming in with 42,000 Bitcoin, all priced. Like, are they buying it right here at current levels around $90,000? Did they purchase it? Is this been a workup for a while now? Were they able to purchase any last year, years ago, earlier this year on the dip? Because when you start to look at a company like this, and you're watching them with a sole purpose, similar to MicroStrategy, they're going to buy Bitcoin. MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor have been doing that for a while. And I can't remember their exact number off the top of my head, but they, in theory, are viable and they will not have any deleverage event happen. I think Bitcoin have to drop all the way to like below 20,000 for them to be deleveraged and to have a problem and get massively liquidated because of their position sizes, right? That is the one threat that I'm watching here with a new company taking this tactic this late in the game. And again, I'm bullish, so I think this is going to work out. But in theory, let's say that Bitcoin does struggle and the breakout that we're happening right now ends up not being a longer-term bullish breakout, and we start to head back down towards 70,000. The bear market of 2022, some of you will remember if you were here, we were hit by Celsius who was over leveraged, and then the markets tanked and the whole company went kaputs, costing billions of dollars of people's money. We saw Terra Luna over leveraged. Markets went too far down, obliterated. FTX over leveraged, stealing and misusing company, customers' funds. So there's a lot of things happening there was different. But overwhelmingly, what was the big reason the three of those companies failed is because they found themselves over leveraged and the price dropped too far. So, again, am I bullish on a company that's sole objective is to buy and hold Bitcoin? Yes, I'm bullish. I have questions about how that leverage looks, though. What are their levels that if they drop below, their company implodes and capitulates, and then all of a sudden you have this massive volume dump on the markets, just like we had back in 2022, 3 different times? I would love to know the answers to some of those questions. Also, I put a poll in chat. Who likes Jack Mallers? Like him? Dislike him, or yes, no, or who is he? A lot of people don't know who he is. I'll tell you this. You ask me who I like, Jack Mallers or Michael Saylor. I'm going with Michael Saylor. I'm going to take Michael Saylor 10 out of 7 times a week over Jack Mallers, but I'm not going to go too far deep into that. Again, kind of mixed feelings right now about this news story. Before I move on, though, Shisham, I'll let you kind of give your take as well. Are you bullish on this? Do you have the same concerns? What are your thoughts?
I really think it's the rest of the names on this list. So you have Tether, you have Miyashi-Sun, SoftBank, and you have Howard Lutnick, Cantor Fitzgerald. Like, this feels like the big kind of deal that was kind of simmering for crypto, kind of similar to, I would put on the level of a Bitcoin strategic reserve, a crypto strategic reserve stockpile. Right, this came out of nowhere. There was no leaked information. They kept a tight lip about this, meaning they're all very professional around this move. So the fact that they're coming out now on this big pump higher means they're very sophisticated, coordinating in a positive news cycle. I'm excited by this. Miyashi-san, I can't overstate how important he is to the VC community, to people who listen to the All In podcast, people who are very active and in that type of a space. So it's going to be taken seriously. Bitcoin is going to be on the radar of a lot more people. And you can take me off here, Smay. I'm jumping over to the net inflow and outflow here. You can see the current weekly candlestick is showing that more people are using the ETFs to buy Bitcoin, to get exposure to Bitcoin price action at least. If you look at the monthly candle, we have just sprouted. April's almost over, I suppose, but we will be printing our first green, meaning positive overall inflow for the month in 3 candles. So that's very bullish.
Yeah.
And you will see we never had any kind of outflows this extreme ever in the history of the ETFs. So this has been a pretty significant sell-off as a result of the deleveraging of institutions of Bitcoin on their balance sheet, and as a result of the uncertainty coming from the tariff news. Drilling down into the daily candlesticks here, you can see we are back up here at some pretty high levels that we haven't seen. We have to go back to the first, so 15. This is January 15th of this year. A very bullish time for Bitcoin. This would have been, moving into the inauguration for DJT. So this is very bullish all the way around all the way around. Yeah. But the weekly is really the very bullish candlestick that I'm seeing there for those inflows, outflows. And it's not just big companies that are mimicking, not just big corporations that are mimicking what MicroStrategy is doing and what MetaPlanet has been doing in Japan. It's also just everyday 401k holders who are hearing that Donald Trump is associated with Bitcoin, or that guy Howard Lutnick, who's the Treasury Secretary, who's the Commerce Secretary. He's big into Bitcoin, or maybe it's the investing, but whatever it is, right? They're hearing Bitcoin. They're hearing something that resonates with them. And they're going to their financial planner, or maybe their self-managed IRA, and they're saying, I want to put this Bitcoin ETF into my financial future. It's very bullish.
There we go. There we go. Well, guys, it is time to jump into charts. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for it. We're going to go into a lot of conversation here. We'll see how today's live show goes. Again, one a week now. We're probably going to go a little long here because I got a lot of charts to go over, a lot of things to discuss. I know you guys are going to have questions. I wanted to read one chat before I got in here just because this one tickled me. Government Bowel Movement Tracker, again, one of my favorite names here on the channel, said America he said America loves the middleman. Let me do the other one. He commented twice, so it moved on me. He said, I've adopted the Sailor buying strategy. I buy the top and the middle, but never the bottom. That's funny. That is very funny. Michael Saylor notoriously does not care where the market is when he buys. I think he has bought a couple bottoms, but rarely does he do that. So that definitely gave me a chuckle. Let's get into the charts here. While we've been talking, Bitcoin is now wrestling with $93,000. I think it's going to lose it, and I'll tell you why here in a little bit. Now, let me pause. I'm about to tell you why I think Bitcoin is about to go down. I'm going to explain why that is. I'm going to explain, does that mean I'm bearish? Does it mean I'm bullish? Do not just assume, just because I'm about to say I think Bitcoin is going to be losing 93 and going lower, that all of a sudden I am bearish. I'm going to be looking on a 1-hour chart, on a 4-hour chart. I'm not going to talk so much today. I'm going to show you quickly, but I'm not going to talk a lot today about things that I've been telling you for a while, where we called the bottom back down here at 74,000. We predicted a move back up over 90,000, and we're now predicting in the next couple of weeks and months, we will be seeing at least close to, if not a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Why? Because the buy signals on Bitcoin are stacking up, and they're going all the way as high as the weekly chart, where we did confirm this past week a buy signal. I'm curious how close we are actually to a 2-weekly buy signal. Not there yet, right? We did hit the 2-weekly sell signal position. That was the reason why we called the bottom there at 74.4, but we do not have a 2-weekly buy signal yet. So I want to make sure before I go in here, and I'm going to come down all the way here to the 4-hour chart to start this conversation. Don't take what I'm saying as saying that Tim is no longer bullish. Tim has given up. He's changing his decisions. No. Long time frames, next couple of weeks, next couple of months, next year and some change, Tim remains extremely bullish about Bitcoin. Today, I'm going to tell you why I think Bitcoin's about to correct and where you can look to either add to your current long positions on Bitcoin, or maybe you haven't gotten in yet on these buy signals. Where am I looking to buy next on Bitcoin as we pull back? Let's start with why I think we're going to pull back in the first place. I'm actually going to go off the charts for a second, and I'm going to go to the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Do you guys see that number right there? It's a big number. It's a big number. It's a very green number. Green means greed. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is at 72 after just yesterday being down there at 47. What does this mean? Is this a lock that we're going to pull back? No. is not a lock that we're going to pull back, but it is something to be aware of. We tell you all the time, when you see the Bitcoin ticker come all the way over here into orange and we're in fear, those are some of the best times to buy. When you start to see it creep over into the green, especially the darker green, into the greed, those are the best times to sell. When you look at the charts here historically, and I don't know why my mouse isn't working right there, so let's scroll down here and let's look. I got to zoom out just a little bit here. I think I messed it up. Trying to zoom in for you guys. Go ahead and take me off the screen for a second, Smay, so people can see the fullness of this chart. The last time that we saw this level, okay, it just wants you to refresh the page. Internet being a little silly here with this page right now, so give me a second, guys. It will not change charts for me. There we go. 1 year. There we go. There we go. All right. The last time we were this high in the greed, we have to go all the way back here to early February 2025. Okay. Where were we February 2nd, February 3rd? Let's go to the daily chart here. The price action of Bitcoin is going to be way over here, right here. It's going to be right up at $101,000. Okay. What happened the last time we were this high? Well, of course, after a pullback all the way back down to 91, then we bounced, we came back up above 100,000, and then we would pull back down, and we have not been back above 100,000 since that time. Right? That's something that I'm watching and I'm aware of right now, is that we have reached territory. The last time we were here, we saw a pretty big dump. Now, I don't want to scare you, because the reality is I think that instead of comparing it to the last time we were at 72, we should really compare it to the last time that we were low and shot up to 72. And for that, we're going to go back over here into the middle of October, sometime around the 16th. You can see early October, we're all the way down here around 30 something, in September, August, September, we're down here closer towards 20. We shoot up into the 72 range, and we ended up staying up there and rallying all the way into November before the greed got a little bit too heavy and it was time to sell off. What did Bitcoin's chart look like during that middle of October time period? Of course, the bottom of last summer, not wick-wise, but candle body close-wise, was back here in September. Right there, mid-October, here's what you're going to see. This is around the time that Bitcoin had been in a falling channel. It broke bullishly out of that channel. And even though we were going to continue for a time to the upside, Bitcoin did want to pull back down a little bit. It wanted to pull back down to a former level of resistance, turn that resistance into support, and then move to the upside. What am I telling you? If I could go back here and let's say I was trading this move and I see Bitcoin break above a major level of resistance, we're shooting up high. Do you buy right here? Well, if you had bought right there, you would have been okay. And in the same breath, if I'm right about the next couple of weeks and months, if you buy right now at 93,000, you'll be okay. Okay, you will be okay. But anyone who could have gone back here and said, I can see the future, I'm going to wait until we pull back down here to 65, that's a better buy spot. And sure enough, if you were patient, you get that buy signal, and then the Bitcoin markets take off. Okay? But the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is the similar thing that we are seeing right now. We have been breaking out. It looks like a bottom is confirmed in here. We've broken a new higher high for the first time in several months. And yet, we need to be paying attention. Are we potentially in a short-term pullback? Are we needing to pull back for the next day, 2 days? And the reality is, I believe the answer to that question should be yes. When we start to look at the 4-hour chart here, pulling up the Lux Algo, not even just Lux Algo, let's just look at oscillators here in general. We are massively overextended on the RSI. Okay, massively overextended. We have not been this high up here at 84 on the 4-hour chart since all the way back here on November 11th. If you go back and look at November 11th, this would be a time where, guess what happens on November 11th? We have some volatility. And even though we continue to go higher, you have some volatile pullbacks. Again, I'm not predicting a top in. I'm saying a pullback is in order. If I go lower here towards the 2-hour chart, this is where we're seeing a major bubble, and we're beginning right now to get a confirmation of a 2-hour sell signal. Red reversal, bearish momentum. Look at that money flow. Look at the excessive buyers. They all want to leave. We're getting a sell signal. And it's not just a normal sell signal. The RSI dramatically overextended, giving us bearish divergence. The MACD has crossed bearish here. The 4-hour creating its own bubble on the verge of getting a sell signal. I feel extremely confident about the 2-hour smart trail being hit. I think the 4-hour smart trail is going to be one to watch. But let's just start here. We have these sell signals. We always watch where are the order blocks. Order blocks coming in right now on the 2-hour chart, starting to move sideways on us, coming in around 90,600. If some of you want to buy there, that's going to be a good place. Obviously, 90,600, way better than buying at 93.3. But the reality is, I think the 4-hour smart trail is going to be very interesting to watch down here towards $89,000. You want to know why this is interesting? I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why. Number one, that's where the 4-hour smart trail is, and we're on the verge of getting a 4-hour sell signal, okay? An overextended, bubble-popping 4-hour sell signal. That's reason number one. Reason number two, remember I told you guys the other day, if you guys are watching the videos, this $89,000 level was the former last lower high of the bearish trend. We broke it. But guess what happens? Just like last summer, when we had broken a level of resistance and decided to come back down and retest it, markets love to fall back to former resistance levels and treat them like support. So not only do I have the 4-hour smart trail, I also have a former level of resistance right there that we can come back, pull back to, and touch that level. But the third and final reason why is because I guarantee you, remember I talked about earlier, do not trade emotionally, trade the charts. People are attached to numbers and they attach their emotions to it. Right now, after months of waiting to get back above 90K, people want you. They want me right now. I think a lot of people of you watching this, you want me to say we will never go below 90K ever again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to say that. There's a chance it's true. I could be wrong here. We end up bouncing and going crazy high from here, but what I'm telling you is off the signals I'm seeing on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, on the signals I'm seeing on this 4-hour, 2-hour, even the 1-hour chart, a pullback looks to be in order. But people who emotionally will be wrecked if we go lower than 90,000 and will capitulate and sell off their Bitcoin, is that not exactly what the composite man wants? That's the question I'm going to ask you. Is that not exactly what the manipulators want you to do? I believe there will be a lot of people who have just bought up here around 94,000 who will sell when we drop below 90K, only for us to find a bottom in the world of $89,000, and all of a sudden we take back off into the upside. Could we go lower than that? We absolutely could. I think we're on a verge of potentially even maybe as high as the 8-hour chart, maybe could give us a little bit of a sell signal, in which case, if we lose 89, I think 87 is going to be very interesting, but that zone is going to be a very pretty tight zone. Once you get above the 8-hour chart, daily chart's not bearish. The 2-daily chart's not bearish. The weekly chart's not bearish. Ultimately, what I'm going to be looking at is I'm going to buy on the top of this zone, but I think what you're looking for is a move right here between 89 and 87. Okay, this little box right in here is my buy zone. Let's pretend it gets hit, because some people emotionally are going to say, Tim, that would ruin this bull trend. The bull trend would be over. We're back down to new lows coming. Let's just let's draw. Let's zoom out before we freak out. Let's pretend we go all the way to 87,000, ladies and gentlemen, and then we get a bounce. You know what that would be? Remember I just told you for the first time since January, we put in a higher high. You know what needs to come in a bull trend after you put in a higher high? A higher low. You can't get a higher low without the price retracing. I would love to see a higher low come in between $89,000 and $87,000. It wouldn't even be close to being bearish. So that's what I want you guys kind of watching for, looking at right now, is that there's going to be a lot of people emotionally responding to news. I guarantee you the articles, people are going to act like Armageddon is coming because Bitcoin loses 90,000 again. The reality is this is simply a very bullish movement that needs a healthy correction. 89 to 87 is a target I would be looking for this pullback. Before I move on, because we got a lot of charts to go through, we got to look at some stocks, we got to look at Tesla. I want to throw it to T. Shroom. Shroom, what are you thinking right now about Bitcoin?
Yeah, just really quick, we've been seeing a lot of chat about, when do you guys go live? So we go live in the Discord. That is where we go live every single day. And just yesterday, we were talking about dry powder and the importance of dry powder. Tim showing you all that we need to put in a higher low before we can go higher. My dry powder has not been deployed on this move to the upside. I did not FOMO in. I did not try to buy a candle that's moving to the upside at an accelerated pace. I'm going to wait until the imminent correction comes back, whether it comes from news or just resistance. And that's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to wait until I can buy low, not buy high. So let's get back to the charts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In case you guys are wondering, what my plan is, Tim taking profit and moving down? No, Tim's not. I'm not saying you can't take profit right now and do this. That's a good move. I've been in a long since all the way back here at 74.4, right? even though I wasn't convinced at the time, I'm not trying to sit here and say you guys like, oh, I knew 74.4 was going to be the bottom. I didn't know that. What I knew was the 2 weekly sell signal had a smart trail coming in right there. So I put a buy-in order right there, thinking, and I put my stop loss somewhere like right in here. I was thinking we were going to go a little lower. I thought 72 was on the table, but you know what I said? I'm willing to have a long stop loss. I have a high take profit. I think this is the bottom of the move. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's what my trade looks like, right? I'm doing very beautifully on this trade. So what am I doing? I added a little bit more here on the breakout here at 85,000. What I'm going to do on this move, instead of selling, I'm going to use a little bit of my dry powder that I have from other trades, from budgeting. I'm going to be adding to this long position at $89,000, getting more in here because I do believe the bull trend, the bull market is back on. Some of you have not bought Bitcoin. Okay, that's okay. Buy some here at 89,000. Even if we drop all the way to 87, buy some here at 89,000. Because when you're looking at those longer term charts, we got a long, long, long way to the upside. And even though I think that this 4-hour sell signal is going to hit, you want to know another reason why I'm really bullish right now on Bitcoin? I do think this is going to get hit. I think we have a nice bubble here. But guess what? Last week or earlier this week, it was last week, the 15th, we had a sell signal on the 4-hour chart. This was the first sell signal on the 4-hour chart that did not come down to the 4-hour smart trail the entire bearish trend since back in January of 2025. What does that tell me? The bulls right now, ladies and gentlemen, are in control. The bulls are winning. That does not mean they have to win every day and every battle and every hour. It does not mean we can't have corrections to put in higher lows. It tells me we are bullish right now. And when you're bullish, wait for dips, buy in, let your sucker ride. When you start to get overextended, when you see some glaringly oversold or overbought signals, maybe you want to take some profit. Maybe you want to be patient. You know your cue is coming. Wait for a pullback, and that's when I'm going to buy in more. I'm not going to buy at a high when I see overbought signals and bullish articles coming out with opinion pieces. That's manipulation. I'm going to be buying and selling right now based off the charts and understanding that news more often than not is trying to deceive me. That's how I'm treating the markets right now. With that said, that's our Bitcoin TA for the day. Let's take a look real quickly at the stock market and the S&P 500 bouncing back up here to a level of what was former support. Now we've turned into resistance. This will be the second time we treat it as resistance here in the world of 5,400. On these lower time frames, like the 4-hour chart, we actually don't see a lot of negativity here. Not saying we can't pull back. I think if we were to go maybe like towards a 1 hour, 30 minute, yeah, we got a little sell signal on the 1-hour chart for the S&P 500. Don't be surprised to see the S&P 500 come back down towards 52, maybe 5,100. What's the 2-hour looking like here? Maybe a little bubble right there. So maybe back down to 5,100, right? Another support zone. We're kind of trading a little zone right here. But I told you guys the other day that the stock market wasn't necessarily printing longer term buy signals just yet. Over the last couple of days, we're slowly but surely seeing that begin to change. Now, we have a daily buy signal right here. Green reversal, bullish momentum, bullish divergence, positive money flow. Good stuff, okay? The problem is we're very close to hitting that target. So if you wanted to operate with that buy signal, you just don't really have a lot more room to the upside before those buy signals are invalidated. But we're starting to see the 2 daily. Not there yet, but it's getting very close. The MACD looks like it wants to head back up. The RSI looks like we want to move back to the upside. We're not very far away from maybe a 3 daily buy signal coming not long after that. All these things could send us all the way back up. Again, we're not talking about new highs here by any means, but back up here towards $5,600, $5,700. I would not be surprised at all to see us get back up there. The problem is, until we break above those, until we start to get weekly buy signals and other time frames, we still have a long way to go before the stock market's ready to hit new all-time highs. But for now, shorter time frames, you might get a little bit of a buying opportunity here down towards 5,100 that you could potentially ride at least back up here to 54, if not 5,500 on the S&P 500. What about Tesla? And Tesla, we talked about earlier, bad reports, but yet bullish here today. Looks like a little bit of a pullback coming in here. 1-hour sell signal is in order right now, and there's no bullish move right now that's telling me to ignore this sell signal. Let's see if that sell signal extends into a 2-hour sell signal. It does, or it's very close to doing so. I think that's going to happen. No 4-hour sell signal, so no doom or gloom right there. That's going to tell me right now I'm going to be looking between the 1 hour around $235, and the 2 hour somewhere around 232. Got kind of a similar stage right there, 232. That's going to be my next buy signal for Tesla. Okay. I see some sell signals happening. Again, technically a higher low than this low back here at 223 back on April 21st. Tesla, I do think, is going to have a good quarter two. I just think we're not yet in the spot on Tesla where it's time to rip and take off to the upside like other altcoins. With that said, when I look at Tesla on the longer term time frames, let's take a look here. We are on the verge. We are very close to printing a weekly buy signal. When it comes to the 5 daily, did we get one here? That one's very close as well, so not quite getting there one yet. But I think we have one here on the 3 daily, if this will load for me. Oh, the money flow's playing with us. That is very close to confirming. We're not going to call it yet. We'll call the daily chart, I think, is our highest one. Daily chart right now is saying that we should be able to make our way back up to 295. But if we start to get a bullish push, we can break back above 300 and we get a weekly buy signal, all of a sudden we're talking about July. Yes, right there at the end of quarter two, potentially back up towards $400 for Tesla. Look to buy some of these dips that could come in the next day or two on that 1 hour, 2 hour chart. But I still think July $400 Tesla could be a very, very interesting coin to go after. Last one. I said coin. That's a stock. Last chart I wanted to look at, and then we're going to get into some Q&A and answer some questions. Shroom and Smay, be looking at chat to look at what's happening there. Gold has been taking off like crazy as of late, right? Everybody is just infatuated with gold. China was stacking gold. Peter Schiff is just riding his high horse, what seems like every single day, saying that gold is the greatest thing ever. Hopefully this isn't misinterpreted as me saying I hate gold. I like gold. What was one of the big reasons, though, why gold was rallying? With all of the tariff concerns, with all of the economic concerns, with the fear of what was happening overall, gold was the safe haven that people were running to. And we know that someday Bitcoin is going to be treated the same way, but right now Bitcoin had been being treated like a risk-on asset. That looks like it's changed over the last couple of days. But gold, for sure, there was no question about it. Gold was the safe haven. If you're scared of fiat, if you're scared of the economy, if you're scared of what money is doing, run to gold. Gold is potentially getting close to a top position here. I'm not predicting any type of colossal crash here, but the weekly chart, very close to popping a bearish-looking bubble. As I work my way down, you're going to start to see some sellish, bearish divergences and sell signals start to pop in on the daily, 2 daily, 3 daily. The daily chart here confirming one today that would send the Bitcoin or the gold price back down here to, excuse me, little lump in my throat, 3,100. If the weekly bid catches, all of a sudden we're talking about back down towards 2,900. Again, I'm not talking about a colossal crash. I don't think gold's going to crash a lot. But what we can see, though, with the last couple of days, I'm going to look at the 4 hour chart with gold pulling back, losing that 4 hour smart trail, catching a bid to the downside. Are we seeing this as communicating that people are a little bit coming out of fear of the unknown? People are a little bit more certain about maybe where will tariffs end up going, where will economies end up going. This is a sign of positivity for the markets. Not telling you to dump all your gold. Not telling you gold's about to crash. I'm telling you gold was pumping ridiculously because of fear. And now that fear seems to be subsiding a little bit, gold needs a little healthy correction. Another higher low in a still long-term bullish trend for gold. That's what I'm looking at right now on the gold chart. It's not confirmed. There's a lot that could happen. If gold shoots right back up tomorrow, we could have to change all of this conversation. But keep an eye on those larger time frames for gold. As those sell signals start coming in, keep an eye on how the conversations are going with tariff deals and with economic deals and what's going to happen with the Fed and what's going to happen with the Treasury yields. If the fear starts to subside, gold's going to be coming to the downside, and all of a sudden, crypto markets, TradFi markets will start to pump once again, and you guys could definitely be making a lot of money. So stay aware of what's happening on that gold chart. With that said, it is all I have planned for the day. We could spend a lot of time looking at altcoins. We could take a lot of time looking at charts. I just got a super chat from J-Rock saying, AERO, please, and thanks. So we absolutely gotta listen to the super chats. J-Rock, we're going to do some AERO TA here in a second. Let me write it down just so I don't forget it. Sherman Smay, Any other interesting chats, maybe on topics of some of the coins I already talked about or the projects I talked about? Any chats or questions that corresponded to stuff we've already discussed today on the show?
I don't. Yeah, Eric Tavern said gold dump when there is no fear. Gold dump when there's no fear. I sold my gold 2 days ago at 3,420. Says Nick Dunn.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Eric Tavern also said bad move. There is no correction. We are heading to 95 to 96. So contrarian, thinking there's not going to be a pullback. We just
let me respond to
95, 96.
Let me respond to that for a second. Maybe there's no correction. And you want to know what? I'm not going to lose out on that because I didn't take profits. Again, I told you guys I'm in a long-term long. I have my long-term bags. I'm making money right now. And I'm the type of trader with these longer-term moves, even though I think the charts are showing us we could make a move back down slightly below 90,000. And I'm going to be aware of that move and act on it, not capitulate. I'm going to act on it. I'm not going to be mad, disappointed, or upset that the price goes to the upside. And for everybody else listening to that, I don't have a crystal ball, right? I do not have a perfect analysis of what's going to happen. If you are afraid of what happens if Bitcoin takes off from here and goes to 100K without that pullback, okay, buy some right now. The problem is, again, in the history of me studying these markets and these terms, we get into these phases where it's so bullish that people, for fear of missing out on the upside, they ape in too early. And then after the next couple of days, you have yourself a nice little correction. And we did go, like, let's say back down to 89,000. Some of you will beat yourself up and say, why did I buy at 94, 93.5? Why didn't I wait for Tim and go down to 89,000? Here's what I want to tell you. Don't worry about that whatsoever. Think about you right now. Do you have enough Bitcoin preparing for a bull market? If your answer is no, buy some now and buy some more, 89,000. If you have enough, if you've been longing all the way and you can stand to not have to buy more here, like me, don't buy until you see 89,000. But don't freak out either way. Do not second guess yourself. Have a good reason for why you're buying right now or whether you're going to wait to buy, and then stick to that plan and be okay with the consequences. There's no way to be 100% sure about where the markets are going. All you can do is prepare yourself for the possibilities and the probabilities. And in my analysis, which could be wrong, but I don't think it is, I think the possibility of 89,000 is right there on the table, and I think the probability makes a lot of sense, and so I'm willing to be patient. That doesn't mean it's the right move for everybody else. It means it's the right move for me and some of you who have acted very similarly to me. But that is how you handle these types of moves. That's how you handle, could we go up, could we go down? Nobody knows for certain, so make a plan for either direction and then stick to it. Don't regret it.
Smart. Very smart. Yeah, I think Steve from the Discord, he's been thinking about selling his gold as well. He's got his gold, and he's thinking, man, these prices have been high. I wonder if he's watching now. Let me know. Did you go ahead and sell some or all of your gold?
Ooh, be interesting. Very cool. Let's do this. Let's do the AERO TA that we did have a super chat from. Keep your eyes, just scroll through chat and see if there's any other questions corresponding. Let me find my AERO chart. We did do some AERO TA over in our VIP trading group the other day, and it's, nice taking off here very nicely. Again, we see a lot of chat here today. People are saying, man, I want the bros to be live more than once a week. Like, this stinks. I'm so glad you're still here, even though you're disappointed. We are live every day. If you want to hear my thoughts, T-Shroom's thoughts, if you want us to cover all of the news, all of the details, look at your favorite coins, your favorite stocks, we do that every single day. We just now are doing it 4 days a week over in the Discord VIP trading group. Guess what? If you're saying, man, I want to be in that group, but I've seen their prices, it's a little high, 50% off right now. For the next couple of days, Sunday at midnight is the cutoff. You can get access to the VIP trading group right now for 50% off. Yes, the Pro Bros account, to get into those groups, that's normally $40. You can get it for $20 a month right now. You can buy a whole year or two and lock in that price for the long term. Go act on it right now. The bros are live. The bros are talking each and every single day, and we got a lot of VIP traders making a whole lot of money right now, spending time with us, trading, investing, breaking down the news. Go check it out right there. AERO. We talked about this pullback on AERO weeks ago. If you guys were here, it was on a live show. We talked about the volume gap all the way back down here at 28 cents. I'm kind of repeating some things I said the other day. Look at how we kissed that level perfectly. And then now we've bounced back to the upside. We talked about how AERO, even though this coin has been bleeding recently, after setting a higher high in December than we did in April of 2024, we have put in a lower low. But when you zoom out and you take a look at the long trajectory of things, you go back to February of 2024, we're still looking pretty good for AERO. Still looks like a nice bullish thing here. So bullish on AERO, not telling you to sell all of it. What I am going to say is we got some long-term buy signals here. While we don't have the ability to look at the money flow on the weekly chart because this chart's not old enough to get a money flow on the weekly, what we do see is the Luxalgo green reversals and strong buy signal. When you mix that with the MACD, now money flow is not exactly MACD. So some people have asked, like, if I just have MACD, is that telling me what the money flow is looking like Luxalgo? It's not exact, but it is close. And the fact that we're seeing a positive move on the MACD, not quite a bullish cross yet, but a positive move, you could almost interpret that and say if Luxalgo did have enough candles here on the weekly chart to have a money flow, we're probably flowing negative, in which case that's a weekly buy signal. That would give us a target all the way back up here closer towards $1.20. Now, on the weekly chart, what does that mean? We're not talking about next week. We're not talking about the 1st of May. We're talking about July. We're talking about, at best, the end of June, probably. Reality, sometime in July is when we will be reaching those levels. But there's still a lot of meat on those bones. Even though we have a major pump that's coming here this week, you still are looking at like 140% move to the upside. You don't have to leverage trade this. I love Blowfin. You guys should go buy on Blowfin. You should trade on Blowfin. I'll teach you how to do it over in the VIP trading group. This one, you don't have to leverage trade this. You don't need a 2x, 3x, 4x. If you want it, you can do it, but you could spot trade this one. You could just buy and sell when you've made a lot of money on AERO. That's what I'd be looking at right there. As far as pullbacks, though, because, again, that's kind of our focal point here today, is that even though we're very long-term bullish, we think these are happening, don't be afraid of a potential higher low coming in with a little pullback. We actually don't have a 4-hour buy sell signal just yet. We are very overextended, though. So that is something to definitely keep your eye on. We haven't been this high on the 4-hour chart since way back here in November. I don't think we necessarily crashed, though. That would have been when we started pumping. But, of course, that was a news-based pump. November 5th. Yeah, I mean, that would have been right here around when Trump was elected. But you can see here just a couple of days later, we had bearish divergence, had a nice correction. I'm not a fan of buying when I see that high of a correction. They had no sell signal, so I do want to say, let's look at the 2-hour and the 1-hour. Are we seeing sell signals there? No sell signal, but definitely a bubble. I'm going to say the 2-hour is going to be the one that I probably am going to be more comfortable buying the smart trail of, and we're going to look at about 45 to 47. It's still rising pretty fast here, but 45 cents, give or take. Where's the 4-hour smart trail out of curiosity? That could be there too, but I like the 2-hour. I think somewhere in the world back here to these highs of April 12th, somewhere around 45 to 47 cents is where I would look to pick up a bag of AERO for that longer term move. J-Rock, thank you for that super chat with the heart. I think you might have just been responding to the TA. All right. Let's see here. Any other chat? I think someone asked for ONDO TA, but I'm throwing it back to you, Smay. Smay, T-Shroom. Anything you saw from questions? Let's do like one or two more. We'll do this and then ONDO TA. If you guys want to hear my thoughts on a lot of other altcoins, again, said it a couple times now. Long term, if you guys want to see that VIP trading group, we don't have time here. Even if we did keep doing the live show every single day to go through every single altcoin you guys want to hear about. Over there, though, because I'm live multiple times, live trading in mornings, multiple times having those Q&As after the daily videos around 3:30. We can talk about a whole lot. We cover a lot of ground, do a lot of charts. I highly recommend going and signing up for that today. But Smay or T-Shirt, anything you got question-wise?
Yeah, absolutely. Chucky BTW said, should I join the VIP group if I'm new to crypto, or should I learn a little more? There is no better way to learn crypto, trading, investing than in the Investing Bros VIP Discord. So check out that link below. And right now you have nothing to lose by signing up, but it's now 50% off, right? So we're running this special through Sunday. So don't wait. Go ahead and make it happen. You can always cancel after the month, right? If you don't like it. But everybody who comes in, they
seem to love it.
They love it.
Very few refunds have been asked for. Mauricio Tover says, what time do you guys go live in Discord? Tuesday, Thursday, Friday mornings, 9 a.m. live trading, right? We're doing live trading here on YouTube Monday morning, so that's still another live show. But then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 a.m. Q&As. Oh, so we also live trade on Monday afternoon at noon. Q&As Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. That's where we want to be. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
What was that? I was going to say something else, but I can't remember.
Well, Scotty didn't forget what he was going to say. He said, I doubled my trading account in 2 weeks after joining the Bros. That's awesome. I didn't even hear about that. There's a lot of people winning.
Scotty's winning better than me. I don't even double it. I think like I've done it a couple times, but I don't usually double my trading account in 2 weeks. So good for Scotty. Oh, that's what I was going to say. This is the other important thing about that group. It's you're not just getting Tim, right? Some of you guys like me. You guys want to hear my thoughts on it. I'm very humbled and honored that you guys care about my opinion. Very glad you guys subscribe to the channel. But you got me, and of course, you got T-Shroom. Smay's always over there having a good time. You got Crux, who's a fundamental expert. We have other pro traders that think differently than I do, who are also profitable traders. So even if you're like, man, I like some of what Tim does on the charts, but I'd like to hear more, we got some guys over there who are constantly doing high leverage trades. They're more risky than I am, but they're still profitable, and they'll teach you the riskier plays as well. I tend to lean more conservative. It is a very diverse and vibrant group of people who have learned things from different areas, and we all come together and we work together as a team to help people make money in the markets, whether it's crypto, whether it's TradFi, whether you want to be a long-term trader, whether you want to be a long-term investor. We cover everything you need to know so that you can be profitable right now, just like Scotty. I can't promise you double your trading account in 2 weeks like Scotty, but I can promise you'll learn a whole lot, and long-term, you will understand what you need to know to be successful in the trading and investing game. That being said, let's just really quickly take a look at ONDO, and then we're going to get our factoid of the day. Everyone loves the factoid of the day with Smay, and we'll call it a show here. ONDO, get a little bit of a pullback bid here on that 2-hour chart. I don't know if I'm going to say all the way back down to the 2-hour smart trail here. This one might be more of like a 1-hour smart trail. Nope, it's not. Okay, what's the 4-hour smart trail doing? Okay, this is one of the weird places where the 2-hour smart trail is actually lower than the 4-hour. I think this is a 4-hour smart trail bid. We're very close to a sell signal on ONDO. I think right here around 88 cents is very intriguing. Want to know why? Also, not just the smart trail, but if you turn off all the noise, guys, ONDO was in a long-term bearish channel, bearish trading channel. We broke out here the other day, back on the 22nd. We've closed now a daily candle above that level. Love to see it. Returning to resistance, turning to support, very, very common. So I would be looking at ONDO around 88 cents. Guess what? This is one of those coins with a weekly buy signal. I'm going to say that ONDO by July very easily could be back up here at $1.66. What I need to see, though, ONDO's got a little more work to do than other coins to beat out its previous high. Some people are going to say, Tim, wasn't 92 cents the previous high? Maybe it was. I'm gonna put ONDO in a little bit of a different place, though. For me to say bullish trend confirmed, higher highs in, I need to see $1.23. I know it's a lot. I know it's high. Just being honest, that's where I'm looking at for ONDO, saying I am buying before then. But technically, I feel like I'm slightly risking my buy signals on ONDO before then. I think it's worth the risk, but I'm risking. Once we get above 124, I will feel extremely confident, not just about a weekly buy signal going up all the way to $1.60, $1.70. I will start to talk about ONDO. You guys know I'm very bullish on it. If you want to hear why I'm bullish on it, I've made videos. I'll make videos in the future. But if you want to know before I make those videos, I think $9 easy. I think $22 is very realistic for ONDO. And if the moon just comes out of the sky, right? If crypto is a $20 trillion market cap, if ONDO catches a massive bid, is $45 to $50 on the table? It is. It's just a little out of my purview right now. To me, $10 to $20 is my range that I'm looking for ONDO long term, and I'll be buying a whole lot more once we break back above 126. With that said, you got to know more? VIP trading group. You've probably heard me say it 27 times, but I really want you guys to act right now so you get that 50% off. Next week, that deal won't be on the table. Go sign up right now, get 50% off. You will not regret it. Let's wrap out the show with the factoid of the day, brought to you by probably your favorite bro out of all of us, even though he gets probably the least amount of screen time. But when he's on camera, he's dynamic. He's the best. Smay, Sam wants to know, are you autistic?
No.
No, he's not.
I'm not.
We're gonna see you on a new episode of Love on the Spectrum in the next season.
No,
Okay.
Tim.
Oh.
Come on, insensitive, are ya? Anyways, I'm doing great, guys. I'm doing great. I'm not autistic. I mean, maybe slightly.
I think we all are a little.
Like
right?
incest, aren't we all? And it's like, yes. I mean, there's minor things like. For instance, I'll tell you one of my autisms, if that's a thing that you can say, is whenever there's silverware, like at a restaurant or anybody, and I have not like hand washed it myself, somebody hands it to me, I will literally I'll use this as an example. I will literally inspect it before I eat.
Yeah.
And it's every time
paranoid.
Because I'm paranoid. Because something happened to me as a child where it wasn't clean, and I took somebody's word for it, and it was horrible. Anyways, guys, come on, man. Anyways, jumping into the factoid today, brought to you by Decrypted.tax. This one is super advanced. This is one very advanced because I decided to go as hard as I possibly could. This one's literally a blockchain coding question.
Nice.
So,
okay,
let's see if you guys put on your little coder hats. Let's go. What is the purpose of the OP check lock time verify OP code in Bitcoin script? A, hashes the I think this is not helping me beat the autistic the allegations here.
Yeah.
A, hashes the transaction. B, verifies block timestamps for UTXOs. C, prevents spending of coins until a specific time or block. D, locks a wallet from double spending.
I'm thinking B or D, Bravo or Delta.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I feel like hashes the transactions too broad, preventing spending of coins.
It seems like B is like the obvious answer because it's the one that deals with time, and obviously the OP check lock time verify.
B has time. D has blocks.
Oh, true. Oh, all right, let's split. You choose one, I'll go with the other. It can be. I'll go D. I'll go D. I'll go D.
All right, is that it? Are we locked in?
Yeah.
B and D.
And with that, it is C. It prevents spending of coins until a specific time or block. Wow,
I didn't know that was a feature.
You didn't even know that was a feature, did you? Neither did I. But we learned together, and now don't we feel smarter? We learned about what we're all investing in, which is this technology. There you go.
So I'll tell you who would have known the answer to that question if he had been a guest on today's show. Jack Mallers. I guarantee you Jack Mallers would have known the answer to that question.
Bitcoin, Viva la Bitcoin. Anyways, back to you.
There we go. You know, a lot of people in chat, Smay, are also saying some evidence that you might have autism is you have a Steelers banner in the background there as well. So bad day
Drop
to beat
one
the allegation.
in the chat
that
if you
that
are
is
autistic.
That runs in the family. Okay, that's not even like, guys, I didn't choose this. Okay, it just runs in the family. So it's just how it happens. Anyways, back to you, Tim.
Guys, it has been a lot of fun being here live with you. Tomorrow, we're right back to daily update videos. If you enjoy the Wednesday live shows, come back every Wednesday. If you want more of this every single day, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times today. Go join that VIP trading. You get 50% off right now. We are live all the time. Chat is constant 24/7. You'll learn a lot. You'll make a lot. Go join it right now. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Adios.